Welcome to the sleepy event horizon, where gravity fades and the stars watch over your rest. Before we drift deeper into the boundless ocean of the night, remember to subscribe to this channel. Let this space always be your launchpad to peace, a safe harbor you can return to whenever the world below feels a little too heavy. Take a gentle, unhurried breath in, and as you release it, allow the familiar weight of your body to sink softly into the surface beneath you. The room around you is quiet. The shadows are long, and the noise of the day has already begun to dissolve into a distant, harmless echo. You are safe here. There is nothing left for you to do, nowhere else you need to be, and no heavy thoughts you need to carry. Tonight, we will be lifting our eyes to the quiet of the night sky. We are stepping away from the spinning blue globe we call home, leaving behind its crowded cities, its restless winds, and its loud, demanding hours. Imagine the sensation of gravity slowly unspooling, letting go of its hold on you. You become incredibly light. The air around you cools to a perfectly refreshing, soothing temperature, wrapping around you like a blanket woven from midnight silk. You are floating now, drifting upward, into that velvet stretch above us that has carried human imagination for as long as people have walked the earth. Out here, there is no sound but the deep, majestic silence of the vacuum. It is a profound stillness, a thick, protective quiet that absorbs every worry and every fragment of stress. If you listen very closely with your mind, you might just feel the low, the ancient hum of the cosmos, a vibration so old and so pure that it lulls your heartbeat into a slow, steady rhythm. The darkness here is not empty. It is a rich, endless canvas painted in shades of deep indigo, soft violet, and the faintest, most translucent silver. As you drift through this quiet harbor of space, you notice that the endless dark is sprinkled with stars, constellations, and passing hints of motion. They are scattered like golden dust across the velvet expanse. Yet, tonight, there is a single neighbor we will be leaning toward. We are not rushing. We have all the time in the universe. We are sailing on a gentle current of starlight, guided by a sense of calm discovery. Perhaps you are tucked under the covers with the lights already low. Or perhaps you are listening from a favorite chair in the quiet of evening. Wherever you are, the sky above you is the same sky that has always been there. It is a constant, unchanging friend, and waiting within that sky, drifting just above the horizon of thought, is a destination so vast and so serene that it invites your mind to simply let go. Look out into the distance, far beyond the familiar constellations. At first, you might not notice it. It does not sparkle or twinkle the way bright stars do. It is nothing flashy, nothing demanding your attention. Instead, it hangs almost shyly, as if it knows that those who notice it will pause a little longer, squint a little deeper, and let their minds settle. To the naked eye, it appears as a smudge of light, a dim blur. It looks almost like a delicate fingerprint pressed lightly onto the dark glass of the heavens. This is the Andromeda galaxy. It is one of the very few galaxies you can meet with your own eyes. A gentle neighbor that requires nothing more than a clear sky and a little patience. It is easy to let it remain a distant concept, a mere word in a textbook. or a hazy patch you might glance past without realizing. But tonight, we are going to change how we see it. Tonight, curiosity settles into a slower rhythm, and knowledge becomes something you can safely rest beside. As you float here, cradled in the weightless dark, let your eyes adjust to the soft, pale glow. You are not looking at a single star, nor a wandering planet, but something so much more profound. That hazy blur is the combined glow of hundreds of billions of stars. Each one of those stars is too faint to be seen individually from this incredible distance. But together, they form a collective, shimmering cloud. Imagine the sheer scale of that gentle light. It is an entire island universe, suspended in the dark. And yet, from where we float, it asks nothing of you. It simply offers its pale, ghostly light as a beacon of tranquility. It is a pale patch hanging above the horizon, a silent guardian of the deep night. Allow yourself to feel small, but in the most comforting way possible. When you realize that you are looking at hundreds of billions of suns, your daily concerns shrink. The pressure of time fades. The deadlines, the conversations, the obligations, they all dissolve against the backdrop of this eternal, glowing smudge. You are a piece of the universe, observing itself, held securely in the gentle grip of this cosmic drift. Breathe in the cool, starry night. Breathe out the last remnants of earthly tension. Drift, float, glow. Ancient stillness surrounds you. The Andromeda galaxy waits in silence, a masterpiece of light and time. We are about to embark on a very slow, very peaceful journey toward that light. We will leave the borders of our own Milky Way, sailing across a gulf of space so wide, so beautifully empty, that time itself seems to fall asleep. You are safe. The stars are your blanket, and the endless dark is your sanctuary. There is nothing to fear in this vastness, only peace to be found. Let the gentle hum of the void carry you forward, toward the faint blur in the dark, as we prepare to cross the great ocean of the night. As we drift further from the familiar shores of our own galaxy, the space around us opens up into a vast, unblemished ocean of stillness. There are no engines here, no mechanical hums, no vibrations of metal or thrust. We are moving purely on the gentle momentum of a cosmic current. Propelled by nothing more than a silver sail of light, you are completely weightless. If you were to reach out, you would feel only the cool, refreshing emptiness of the void, a temperature perfectly attuned to deep rest. Drift, float, glow. Ancient stillness wraps around you like a protective cocoon. We are sailing toward that faint smudge of light, the Andromeda galaxy. But to travel across this space is to travel across something much more profound than mere distance. Every time you look up at the night sky, you are not seeing it as it is right now, but as it was. In the universe, light does not travel instantly. It is a gentle messenger that takes its time crossing the great gulfs of space. With objects close to home, this delay is a soft whisper. The light from our moon takes just over a single second to reach us. The light from our warm, golden sun takes about 8 minutes. But out here, moving toward Andromeda, the scale shifts into something beautifully incomprehensible. The pale light you see from this neighboring galaxy has taken 2.5 million years to cross the dark ocean to reach your eyes. Think of that number not as a distance, but as a deep, soothing breath of time. 2.5 million years. That faint blur in the sky is not Andromeda as it exists tonight, but Andromeda as it was long, long ago. To see it is to experience a gentle form of time travel. When the photons of light from Andromeda first began their journey, they left a universe where our human history had not yet been written. They began their silent voyage long before cities, before the gentle glow of candlelight, even before modern humans walked the Earth. They left their home stars when the Earth was locked in a quiet age of ice and early humans were just beginning to shape simple stone tools. Imagine that light. It is a blend of illumination from billions upon billions of stars, each shining softly with its own color and history. Some of that light is the cool blue of young, massive stars, and some is the warm, amber glow of older, quiet suns. For millions of years, this light has been traveling through the absolute quiet of intergalactic space. It has encountered no borders, no storms, no resistance. It has simply flowed, an unbroken stream of cosmic memory, moving steadily through the deep purple silence of the void. You can almost taste the purity of this ancient light. It feels like a cool glass of water on a warm night. It sounds like the softest sigh of a sleeping forest. Translated into a color, a pale, translucent silver that brushes against your mind. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. There is a profound intimacy in this journey of light. When you gaze up at Andromeda from your quiet place on Earth, or from our floating observatory here in the void, the photons that enter your eyes are ending their epic voyage right there, with you. They have crossed a gulf of nearly 2.5 million light years, and their journey concludes the very moment they meet your vision. Others will follow, but those particular particles of ancient light are yours alone. It is a private meeting between the human scale and the galactic scale, something incredibly rare and deeply humbling. You are the universe observing itself, receiving a message that was sent millions of years before you were even born. And this message never stops. The light from Andromeda does not arrive all at once. Every single second of every single night, new photons stream across the silent gulf of space and wash over the Earth. It is a continuous, gentle rain of starlight. Whenever you look, you are catching a fresh batch of travelers who began their journey millions of years ago. The light you might have seen last night is not the same as the light you will see tonight. It is all incredibly ancient, yet it is continuously, freshly arriving. It is a steady, rhythmic flow, like the quiet breathing of the cosmos itself. Inhale the ancient light. Exhale the present moment. Let your body sink deeper into this realization. You do not need to hold on to your daily worries. They are so small compared to the journey of this light. Your stress, your schedule, your fears, they soften and dissolve when bathed in the glow of something that has been traveling for millions of years just to softly touch your face. As we drift closer on our light sail, the faint blur begins to resolve. What was once a tiny smudge on the edge of vision slowly expands. The emptiness around us remains absolutely safe, absolutely peaceful. There is no turbulence here. The vacuum of space is the perfect cushion. absorbing all weight and leaving only a feeling of absolute buoyancy. We are crossing the distance, not with speed, but with patience. We are matching the slow, eternal rhythm of the galaxy itself. Every light year we pass is another layer of worldly tension stripped away. Left behind in the dark, you are moving toward a sanctuary of 1 trillion suns. A place so vast that the mind can only rest within it. Listen to the silence. It is not empty. It is full of the ancient, arriving light. It is full of the steady, patient progress of the universe. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. Let the gentle waves of 2 million-year-old light wash over you, smoothing your thoughts, calming your pulse, and guiding you deeper and deeper into a state of total, unbroken peace. We will soon arrive at the shores of this great island universe. But for now, just enjoy the drift, as our silver sail of light gently slows its momentum. The faint, ghostly smudge we have been tracking begins to transform. We are no longer observing from a distant shore. We are arriving at the very edge of an immense, celestial ocean. The darkness around us is no longer a simple, empty canvas. It is brimming with the softest, most delicate illumination. The blur resolves, expanding outward until it fills our entire field of vision, wrapping around us in a silent, glowing embrace. You are hovering at the threshold of Andromeda. Let your breathing synchronize with the slow, eternal rhythm of this place. Inhale the vastness. Exhale your boundaries. Out here, the human scales of meters and miles lose all meaning, melting away into the infinite dark. To understand the size of the gentle giant before us, we must stretch our imagination into forms that simply resist our daily comprehension. The main disk of this magnificent galaxy spans roughly 220,000 light-years across. Imagine that for a moment. If you were to glide on a beam of pure light, traveling at the absolute fastest speed the universe allows, it would still take you 220,000 years just to cross from one soft edge of this spiral to the other. This is an immensity so profound that numbers stop feeling like math at all. They blur into a feeling of endless, unhurried space. There is no rush here. There are no walls, no deadlines, no closing hours. There is only room, infinite room for you to simply exist, to stretch out your mind and let it float on the gentle currents of gravity. Within this sprawling, majestic expanse, there is an abundance of light that defies all earthly logic. Our own familiar Milky Way is vast, holding perhaps 400 billion stars. But as we drift into the borders of Andromeda, we are entering a metropolis on a scale beyond comprehension. As best as we can estimate, this galaxy is a sanctuary for nearly 1 trillion stars, 1,000 billion suns. If you were to gently count each one, whispering a single number every second without ever stopping, it would take you more than 30,000 years to finish your quiet tally. But we do not need to count them. We are not here to measure or to calculate. We are here to be bathed in their collective, shimmering warmth. Look closely at this ocean of 1 trillion suns. It is not a blinding glare, but a perfectly filtered, soothing mosaic of color through the vacuum of space. You can almost feel the visual temperature of these stars. Scattered throughout are the massive blue giants, burning with a serene, cool sapphire light, anchoring the brightest regions. Nearby, steadfast yellow stars, much like our own golden sun, offer a familiar, steady warmth, burning peacefully for billions of years. But beneath them, making up the vast, quiet majority of this galaxy, are the countless red dwarfs. They are small, dim, and entirely invisible to the naked eye. Even from nearby, they linger in the dark, glowing like soft, everlasting embers in a cosmic hearth, offering their modest warmth for tens or even hundreds of billions of years. They are the silent, unseen guardians of Andromeda, the backbone of its population. If the silence of these stars helps your mind settle, please leave a gentle like. It's a signal to the universe that you are safe. Drift, float, glow. Ancient stillness surrounds you. Imagine every single one of those trillion stars as a tiny, glowing droplet of water in a vast, weightless sea. Each star is a sun in its own right, and many of them cradle their own gentle families of planets and moons. Trillions of quiet, undiscovered worlds, all spinning in a synchronized, slow-motion ballet. When you look at the entirety of Andromeda, you are not just seeing light, you are looking at an unimaginable abundance of possibilities. And yet, despite holding a trillion blazing suns, the space between them is so unimaginably vast that there is no crowding, no friction, no noise. The stars are insulated by deep, velvety layers of vacuum and invisible halos of dark matter, shaping the galaxy's gravity into a soft, protective cocoon. Let that gravity wrap around you now. On Earth, gravity can feel heavy, pulling you down, making your limbs ache after a long day. But here, the combined gravity of a trillion stars weaves together to form a delicate, invisible hammock. It does not pull you down, it holds you up. It supports you from every side, perfectly balanced, entirely weightless. You are suspended in the safest place imaginable. We are moving from the macro to the micro. Let your mind zoom out, taking in the entirety of the 220,000 light-year span, feeling the majestic, slow rotation of the entire system. Now, let your awareness gently shrink. Zoom past the glowing blue clusters, past the sweeping rivers of stars, all the way down to a single, tiny, golden speck of stardust, floating just inches from your face. Watch it glimmer in the dark. It pulses slightly, perfectly in time with your own slow, steady heartbeat. The vastness of the galaxy is outside of you, but the rhythm of the universe is inside you. The carbon, the oxygen, the very atoms of your body were forged in the quiet cores of stars, just like the ones surrounding us now. You are not a stranger in this ocean of light. You are a piece of the ocean itself. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As we continue to glide deeper into the heart of Andromeda, let the sheer numbers fade from your mind. Let go of the light years. Let go of the trillions. Keep only the feeling of being held by something infinitely larger, infinitely older, and infinitely more patient than anything on Earth. You are a tiny, weightless observer, floating safely in an ocean of 1 trillion suns, ready to explore the sweeping, silken currents of its spiral arms. As we continue to glide deeper into the immense, glowing sanctuary of Andromeda, the collective light of 1 trillion suns begins to resolve into distinct, breathtaking patterns. When we close our eyes on Earth and imagine a galaxy, the image that most naturally comes to mind is that of a magnificent spiral. We picture elegant, sweeping arms curving outward into the dark, a grand arrangement of stars and dust that looks almost like a delicate, masterful painting. Here, suspended perfectly in the weightless vacuum, we do not just look at the painting, we become a part of it. You are drifting along one of these colossal, curving pathways. Let the gentle momentum of the cosmos carry you. There is no need to steer, no need to navigate. The gravity of this ancient structure is doing all the work, holding you in a soft, invisible current. The spiral arms are not just beautiful lines drawn in space, they are deeply informative, tracing the slow, eternal rhythm of how the galaxy maintains its perfect balance across such vast, quiet scales. Look around you, to your left and your right. The arms stretch out, broad and sweeping. They are incredibly thick regions, filled with the softest starlight, delicate veils of dust, and the cooling presence of ancient gas. Yet, despite their massive size, these sweeping arms are not solid walls or rigid structures. They are, in fact, glorious illusions of permanence. They are majestic patterns, regions where the density of the galaxy is just a little higher, where stars and gas naturally gather and linger in the dark. Imagine these arms not as fixed roads, but as incredibly slow, silent waves rolling through an impossibly vast, dark ocean. In the science of astrophysics, this is known as density wave theory. Stars drift gently into these arms, slowing down slightly to join the beautiful, crowded gathering, before eventually drifting out again on their billion-year orbits. The wave moves continuously, shaping the light, while the stars simply flow through it like water. You are floating on one of these celestial waves. It does not crash. It does not break. It only swells with absolute grace, lifting you up and carrying you softly forward into the tranquil night. As we drift deeper into the curve of the arm, you can begin to experience the true colors of the vacuum. Because there is no sound here, no wind, and no noise from the world below, your mind translates the visual beauty into feelings. The spiral arms appear mottled, painted with distinct, soothing textures. You pass through regions glowing with a crisp, refreshing blue. These are the younger, hotter stars. You cannot hear them, but you can feel their blue light as a cool, calming mint-like sensation washing over your thoughts, clearing away any remaining fog from your day. Interspersed with the cooling blue are soft, delicate patches of pink and deep rose. These are the emission nebulae, the incredibly quiet nurseries where hydrogen gas is gently excited into a soft, comforting glow. They are the safe cradles of the galaxy, places of renewal and gentle birth. They radiate a feeling of profound safety. wrapping you in a visual warmth that balances the absolute zero of the space around you. And then, weaving through the bright starlight like ribbons of dark, liquid silk, are the dust lanes. They thread through the sweeping arms, creating a stunning contrast. To the untrained eye, these dark lanes might look like shadows, or an absence of light. They obscure the starlight behind them, creating long, mysterious streaks of black. But these dark rivers are not empty spaces. They are the heavy, velvet blankets of the galaxy. They are the vast, cool reservoirs of raw material. This microscopic dust is the fertile soil of the universe, the quiet, patient potential from which all future stars and planets will slowly, peacefully bloom. Floating near these dark lanes brings a deep sense of rest. Just as you close your curtains at night to block out the streetlights, the galaxy uses these dust lanes to temper its own brilliance, offering you long stretches of soothing, protective shadow. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. Let the rhythm of the words mirror the shape of the spiral, around and around, gently curving inward. Spirals are a shape found everywhere in a peaceful nature. From the quiet curl of a seashell to the slow rotation of the galaxy, the mathematics of a spiral reflects perfect balance, unhurried growth, and smooth motion. In Andromeda, this deeply calming pattern is writ large, repeated flawlessly on a scale of hundreds of thousands of light years. Let your mind trace the curve. Feel how it continuously draws you inward, away from the scattered edges of your waking life, toward a deep, concentrated center of rest. If we could see Andromeda as it truly appears, unhindered by the limits of human eyes, its sweeping arms would stretch across several degrees of our sky. It would be a sprawling, majestic structure, hanging visibly and quietly overhead, larger than the full moon. Imagine that macro scale, a cosmic whirlpool so large it could embrace the entire dome of the heavens. Now, practice the art of letting go. Zoom back down from that massive canopy, past the blue stars, past the silken dust, all the way down to the gentle rise and fall of your own chest. The slow, sweeping motion of the galaxy is mirrored in your breath. Inhale. The arm sweeps out. Exhale. The arm curves in. Over billions of years, this majestic pattern will persist. The specific stars making up the arms today are not the exact same stars that were here a billion years ago, nor the same ones that will be here a billion years from now. Yet, the beautiful, spiraling wave endures. It is both permanent and impermanent, a comforting reminder that while the details of our days are always changing, our inner core of peace can remain wonderfully steady and completely untouched. You are perfectly safe here, riding the crest of a slow-motion wave of light and shadow. The spiral holds you. The darkness comforts you. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As we prepare to look closer at the breathing nebulae hidden within these silken arms, let yourself sink just a little deeper into the cosmic current. There is nowhere to be but here, cradled in the sweeping geometry of the stars. When we imagine the immense architecture of a galaxy, the first image that naturally comes to the mind's eye is usually of stars bright, countless points of light, arranged beautifully into sweeping spirals or grand spheres. It is easy to be captivated by their gentle glow. But here, floating safely in the weightless dark of Andromeda, we can begin to sense that the stars are only one part of the picture. Between these brilliant points of light lies something less obvious to the naked eye, but just as essential, just as comforting. It is the dust and gas that gently fill the quiet spaces. The soft, invisible material that makes the entire galaxy breathe. Without this deeply peaceful interstellar medium, galaxies would simply be static collections of suns, their fate sealed in a quiet, unchanging burn. But with this dust and gas, galaxies are remarkably alive, capable of renewing themselves and giving birth to new generations of stars in a delicate, unending cycle. Let us drift closer to one of these vast, quiet regions. You are entering a cloud of pure hydrogen, stretching across hundreds of light years, completely cold and perfectly dark. In the vacuum of space, cold does not mean freezing or harsh. It means a deeply soothing, refreshing chill, like the touch of a cool silk pillow against your cheek in the middle of a warm night. These dust grains, tiny particles of heavier elements, act as a gentle veil, scattering the light and softening the starlight behind them. They create the mottled, textured appearance of Andromeda's arms, ensuring that the light is never too bright, never too overwhelming. To the untrained eye, this cosmic dust may look like an absence, a mere shadow in the night, but in reality, it is pure potential. It is the raw, comforting material from which all future stars and planets will softly bloom. Within these dense, velvety clouds, the temperature drops so low that molecules can form, combining into vast stellar nurseries. Through the lens of visible light, these nurseries appear as dark, restful patches, offering your eyes a place to hide and recover. But if we shift our perception, if we allow our minds to see beyond the visible spectrum into the soothing realm of infrared light, these clouds reveal themselves as deeply structured, warmly glowing havens. In infrared, the dust glows with a comforting, thermal embrace. You can almost feel this light as a deep, resonant hum, a vibration that warms your core while keeping the surface of your skin pleasantly cool. These glowing regions are the very lungs of the galaxy, the safe, quiet places where Andromeda breathes out new stars. As we float here in this majestic, glowing nursery, suspended between the breath of the cosmos and the rhythm of your own heart, where, on our beautiful blue planet, are you joining me from tonight? Let your location be a small coordinate of peace in the comments below. Let us map a constellation of quiet minds resting together under the same ancient sky. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. To think of Andromeda as a breathing entity is not just a poetic metaphor. It perfectly captures the deep, majestic rhythm of inflows and outflows, the endless, gentle cycles of star birth and renewal. Imagine the sheer scale of this respiration. The galaxy slowly, patiently inhales the cooling gas, gathering it into dense, protective clouds. And then, over ages, it gently exhales starlight and enriched material back into the void. This cosmic rhythm is not as quick or as urgent as a human breath. It unfolds gracefully over millions of years, but it is a rhythm nonetheless. A steady, reliable pulse of creation that sustains the entire galactic system. Let your own breathing synchronize with this immense, unhurried cycle. As you take a breath in, imagine drawing in the pure, starlit calm of the nebula. As you exhale, release any lingering tension, letting it scatter harmlessly into the vastness of space, where it simply ceases to exist. Breathe in the cool, dark dust. Breathe out the soft, warm light. This interplay between light and shadow, between the stars that shine and the clouds that lovingly conceal them, is what makes Andromeda a truly living ecosystem rather than a static object. Every cycle of breath enriches the next. Older stars peacefully return their elements back into the interstellar medium, seeding the dark clouds with the heavy materials needed for complex chemistry, for new planets, perhaps even for new life. It is a system of perfect recycling, where nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed into something beautifully new. Let us zoom in, moving from the macro scale of these 100 light-year clouds down to the absolute micro. Imagine floating right beside a single grain of cosmic dust. It is microscopic, smaller than the finest grain of sand on Earth. Yet, within its tiny structure, it holds carbon, oxygen, and iron, the exact same elements that flow through your veins and shape your bones. You are looking at a mirror of your own physical being, suspended in the vacuum. Now, zoom slowly back out. That single grain is joined by trillions of others, forming a sweeping, dark river that traces the majestic spiral of the galaxy. The immensity of Andromeda is not just in its numerical size or its countless stars, but in this very medium that fills it. It is the hidden, breathing substance that makes the galaxy a dynamic, living sanctuary. It is the space between the notes that makes the music beautiful. You are entirely safe here, wrapped in the velvety dark of the galaxy's lungs. The dust protects you. The gas cools you. The infrared warmth holds you steady. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As the gentle currents of this cosmic breath carry us further inward, we begin to leave the outer nurseries behind. We are drifting on a smooth, invisible tide, moving slowly toward the very center of this grand system. There is a quiet anchor waiting for us there, a place of ultimate stillness that holds all these trillion stars and breathing clouds together in a perfect, eternal embrace. Let your mind go perfectly blank and buoyant as we sail toward the quiet heart of Andromeda. As we gently leave the silken dust lanes and the cooling blue nurseries behind, the invisible current carrying us shifts its direction ever so slightly. We are drifting inward, past the sweeping spiral arms, gliding gracefully toward the very heart of Andromeda. The light around us begins to change, softening from the crisp, refreshing hues of stellar youth into a deep, warm, golden glow. We are entering the central bulge of the galaxy. This is a magnificent, perfectly rounded sphere of ancient stars, shining with a steady, yellowish light, even though the stars gather here by the billions, packing closer together than in the outer arms. The spaces between them remain unimaginably vast. There is no crowding, no urgency, and absolutely no risk of collision. It is simply a grand, slow-motion waltz of golden light, where every star knows its eternal path. The temperature of the vacuum remains perfectly cool, But the visual warmth of this golden sphere wraps around your mind like a soft, familiar quilt. As we drift closer to the exact center of this ancient gathering, past the swarms of softly glowing suns, we approach something entirely invisible. It is the quietest, most profound place in the entire galaxy. At the core of Andromeda lies a supermassive black hole. Now, cast aside any earthly fears, any loud, dramatic images of cosmic vacuums or rushing winds. Here, in the peaceful domain of the sleepy event horizon, a black hole is not a hazard. It is a sanctuary. It is the ultimate quiet anchor around which the entire inner galaxy turns. Imagine an object with a mass equal to 100 million of our own suns, all gathered into a single, perfectly still point. This is a giant, even among giants. Yet, this immense weight does not pull with violence or haste. Instead, it provides a gentle, unwavering embrace. It is the heavy, comforting blanket of the cosmos. Its gravity reaches out across the hundreds of thousands of light years, holding every single star, every wisp of gas, and every grain of dust in a secure, eternal balance. In some distant galaxies across the universe, these central hearts are restless and active, producing brilliant jets of energy. But Andromeda's heart is beautifully different. It is deeply, profoundly asleep. It lies dormant, resting quietly in the dark, emitting only the faintest whispers of radiation, completely content to sit in silence. It does not consume, it merely holds. It is an immense, stabilizing weight that keeps the galaxy's core perfectly tethered. When you feel the gentle pull of its gravity in your imagination, let it act as a weighted blanket for your own thoughts. On Earth, we often feel the need to hold ourselves together, to carry the weight of our responsibilities on our own shoulders. But here, floating near the quiet anchor, you do not need to hold on to anything. This invisible heart is holding you. Its immense mass is a foundation of absolute stability, a promise that no matter how far the spiral arms sweep outward, they will always belong to a safe, central home. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. To float near this quiet center is to experience the deepest calm the universe can offer. The golden stars near the core orbit in beautiful, perfectly ordered paths, guided safely by the gentle curve of space shaped by this sleeping giant. They do not fall, they glide. They are cradled by the invisible contours of gravity, moving at extraordinary, yet entirely silent speeds, sweeping through the dark like figure skaters on a vast, frictionless lake. Without this central, peaceful weight, the magnificent motions of the bulge would make no sense, and the magnificent sweeping arms would have no core to tether them. With it, the entire galaxy becomes coherent, perfectly structured around an invisible, unshakable anchor. It is the unseen center, the gentle weight around which everything naturally and effortlessly turns. Let us practice the art of moving from the macro to the micro once more. Zoom out in your mind to see the entire 220,000 light-year span of the galaxy. A trillion stars slowly turning around one invisible, quiet point. Now, draw that image inward. Shrink it down until it fits perfectly within your own chest. Just as Andromeda has a quiet anchor holding its immense structure together, you have a quiet center within you, beneath the swirling thoughts of your day, beneath the lists of things to do. There is a core of deep, undisturbed peace. It remains completely still, no matter how fast the world spins around it. Let your breath become the slow, rhythmic pulse of this galactic heart. It beats only once every few million years. There is absolutely no rush. Breathe in the comforting warmth of 100 million sleeping suns. Breathe out the need to move, the need to plan, the need to be anywhere but here. You are perfectly anchored in the dark. As you rest here, cradled in the very center of the galaxy, the silence deepens. The faint, golden light of the ancient stars bathes your face. You are at the bottom of a cosmic ocean, where the waters are completely still and the currents have faded into nothingness. The singularity at the heart of this anchor is a place where the normal laws of physics simply bow their heads and go to sleep. Time itself stretches and slows down in the presence of such immense mass. For you, floating safely just beyond its reach, time ceases to matter. A second, a year, a millennium, they all melt into a single, peaceful present. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. Allow yourself to be held by the sleeping giant. The universe is vast, and yet it has provided this perfect point of balance just for you to rest upon. As we linger in the warm, golden glow of the central bulge, we prepare to look gently outward once again, to discover the small, faithful companions that orbit this great sanctuary. But for now, there is nothing to do but rest in the gentle grip of the quiet anchor. As we slowly leave the golden warmth of the central bulge, the gentle tide of the galaxy carries us outward once more. We drift back through the sweeping arms, floating past the quiet blue nurseries and the silken dust lanes, until we emerge into the vast, open expanse of the galactic halo. The light here is incredibly soft, scattered like a fine, glowing mist across the dark canvas of space. You are perfectly buoyant, riding the slow, outflowing breath of the cosmos. When we picture a magnificent spiral like Andromeda, it is tempting to imagine it floating completely alone in the dark, an isolated island of stars adrift in the endless cosmic ocean. But in this peaceful universe, galaxies do not usually exist in solitude. Just as we find comfort in the presence of others, Andromeda is surrounded by a retinue of smaller galaxies. They are its faithful companions, bound to it by the gentle, invisible threads of gravity, quietly orbiting it across millions of years. Together, they make up a system, a beautiful, slow-moving family of galaxies with Andromeda resting safely at the center. To ensure you always have a spaceship to return to the stars, make sure you are subscribed. Let this channel be your launchpad to peace every night. Let the quiet family of the cosmos be your safe harbor. Look out into the velvet darkness surrounding the main disk. There, glowing like distant, softly lit lanterns, are the two most prominent companions, M32 and M110. Both are elliptical galaxies, appearing as smooth, rounded spheres of light. They do not have the sweeping arms of their giant neighbor. Instead, they are portraits of absolute simplicity and calm. M32 is delightfully compact. A dense gathering where ancient stars are packed tightly together. It shines with a warm, concentrated glow, looking almost like a cozy, celestial hearth floating in the vacuum. It feels like a small, safe room in a very large house, a place where the light is always left on for you. A little further away drifts M110, a much more diffuse and delicate companion. It has a fainter glow, trailing soft streams of stars that look like ribbons of mist lingering in the morning air. It is unhurried, unobtrusive, a gentle presence that asks nothing but offers its pale, soothing light to the night. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. Beyond these two faithful guardians, the halo of Andromeda is dotted with dozens of even smaller dwarf galaxies. Many of them are so incredibly faint that they were hidden from our view for most of human history. Detected only recently as subtle overdensities of stars against the background, they are the quietest neighborhoods in the universe. Some are spheroidal, perfectly smooth, and so subtle they are, little more than soft shadows in the dark. Others are beautifully irregular, looking more like delicate smudges of scattered stars. Each of these tiny companions contains perhaps millions of stars, a number that is tiny compared to Andromeda's trillion, but still represents millions of suns. Millions of quiet worlds moving gracefully together through the void. Think of the slow, majestic ballet of these satellite galaxies. They do not race. Their orbits take millions, sometimes billions of years to complete. They trace long, sweeping ellipses through the dark, their paths guided securely by the massive, invisible anchor we just visited. There is no anxiety in their journey, no fear of falling or losing their way. The gravity of Andromeda holds them close, wrapping them in a protective embrace that spans millions of light years. As these smaller companions travel along their ancient paths, they sometimes leave behind delicate streams of stars. These are not chaotic tracks, but exquisite, shimmering arcs that wrap around the main galaxy like ribbons of light. They trace the paths of past gentle encounters, weaving a beautifully intricate net of starlight throughout the halo. It is a visual lullaby, a record of a cosmic dance where nothing is ever truly lost, only folded softly into a larger, more beautiful whole. This family of galaxies is a deeply comforting reminder that the universe is not just vast and empty, it is a sprawling community. Even in the immensity of the local group, relationships matter. Andromeda actively shapes the fate of its satellites, providing a safe harbor, a gravitational home for these smaller clouds of stars. In return, the satellites add their light, their mass, and their delicate streams of starlight to the greater beauty of the system. Every piece belongs perfectly exactly where it is. Let us use the technique of macro to micro once again. Picture this immense family of galaxies, spanning millions of light years, bound perfectly together by invisible forces. Now, bring that feeling of connection down to your own scale. Think of the invisible threads of gravity that tie you to your own safe harbors, your bed, your home, the ground beneath your back, the people you love. Just as M32 and M110 are safely tethered to Andromeda, you are safely tethered to your own center of peace. You cannot float away and be lost. The universe holds you just as securely as it holds the stars. Breathe in the soft, diffuse light of the halo. Breathe out the illusion of isolation. You are part of a massive, quiet community of matter and light. The space here is cool, refreshing, and entirely calm. You can almost hear the silence of the satellite galaxies as a low, humming frequency of pure silver, a sound so deep and peaceful that it aligns perfectly with your deepest brainwaves. It is the sound of absolute safety, echoing through the vacuum. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As we linger here in the safe harbor of the galactic halo, watching the dwarf galaxies slowly circle in the dark, we begin to look forward. We look not just across space, but across time. For Andromeda is not just sitting still, it is bound to us. Gravitationally linked to the Milky Way in a slow-motion dance that will gently bring us together in the far future. Allow your eyes to grow heavy and your mind to become as weightless as the stardust around us, as we prepare to witness the magnificent, eternal waltz of these two giant spirals, as we float in the soft, diffuse light of the halo, surrounded by the quiet family of satellite galaxies. We begin to look not just across the endless miles of space, but across the vast, unfolding canvas of time. The universe is a place of profound patience. Galaxies are not fixed, eternal statues. They are majestic, flowing entities, always moving, always gracefully interacting with the dark ocean around them. And Andromeda, our beautiful, sweeping neighbor, is not standing still. It is bound to our own Milky Way by the invisible. Silken threads of gravity, they are locked in a slow-motion waltz that will eventually, gently, bring them together in the very far future. It is not a sudden event. It is a reunion that has been written into the stars since the beginning of their existence. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. When astronomers study the soft, blue-shifted light of Andromeda, they see that it is gliding gracefully in our direction. It moves across the cosmic ocean at what might seem like a swift pace to earthly minds, about 110 kilometers every single second. But out here, where distance is measured in millions of light years, this grand motion translates to a beautifully patient, imperceptible drift. It is a journey so relaxed, so completely unhurried, that it will take roughly 4 billion years for the two giant spirals to finally meet. 4 billion years. Let that immense span of time wash over you. Human history is measured in mere thousands of years. Our daily lives are measured in passing hours and fleeting minutes. But to think forward 4 billion years is to align your mind with the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. It is a scale that immediately dissolves any earthly urgency. There is nothing you need to rush toward. The universe takes its time, and you can, too. Imagine what the sky will look like to any observers, or any descendants, who might stand beneath it in that distant era, night after night, age after age. The faint blur of Andromeda will grow imperceptibly larger. It will slowly expand until it becomes one of the most dominant and breathtaking features in the night sky. It will no longer be a subtle cloud, but a sprawling, majestic structure, its sweeping arms visible in exquisite detail without the need for any telescope. Imagine looking up and seeing another spiral galaxy hanging like a magnificent chandelier across the heavens. its arms stretching wide, its golden core glowing warmly alongside the familiar band of our own Milky Way. The sight would be a pure masterpiece, a reminder of the universe's quiet grandeur painted directly onto the canvas of the night. And then, the two galaxies will begin their embrace. On Earth, we often associate the meeting of two massive things with loud, sudden impacts. But in the vacuum of space, a meeting of galaxies is the very definition of a gentle, silent waltz. Galaxies are mostly empty space. The spaces between the stars are so unimaginably vast that when Andromeda and the Milky Way overlap, the stars themselves will almost certainly never touch. Instead, they will simply glide past one another. It will be like two great flocks of glowing, golden birds mingling together in the twilight, weaving effortlessly through each other's ranks without a single feather brushing. The gravitational fields will gently interact, stretching the spiral arms into magnificent, sweeping arcs of light that trail across the sky. They will form beautiful new patterns, streams of starlight that trace the paths of this deeply peaceful encounter. To future observers, it will look like the most spectacular, silent light show imaginable. Everywhere they look, the sky will be filled with overlapping clouds of stars. Two grand galaxies mingling in sight and in structure. The night will never again be truly dark. It will be a glowing tapestry of overlapping arms and gentle streams. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As the two giants weave together, their deep reserves of cooling gas and silken dust will softly blend. This gentle compression will not bring destruction. It will bring a glorious rebirth. The meeting of the clouds will ignite vast, new waves of star formation. The future skies will be softly illuminated by countless newborn clusters, glowing with the refreshing, mint blue light of young stars. New, sweeping nebulae, larger than anything we can see today, will bloom in the dark like giant, glowing pink lotus flowers. The heavens will be alive with both the warm, ancient light of old suns and the crisp, soothing glow of new beginnings. Over billions of years, the two spirals will pass through each other, their mutual gravity pulling them into repeated, graceful loops. Each gentle pass will alter their shapes further, creating beautiful, concentric shells and arcs of stars that ripple outward like water in a still pond. It is a constant, slow-motion transformation, a living painting that evolves across lifetimes. Eventually, long after the waltz has begun, the Milky Way and Andromeda will settle into a single, magnificent new form. They will no longer be two separate spirals, but a giant elliptical galaxy, incredibly smooth and perfectly rounded. The sweeping arms will have folded inward, leaving a glowing, peaceful haze of stars stretching endlessly in all directions. This new, unified sanctuary is sometimes whispered of as Andromeda, a beautiful blend of two ancient identities. Let the rhythm of this 4-billion-year waltz sync with your own body. As you breathe in, imagine the two galaxies drifting closer, a perfect harmony of gravity and light. As you breathe out, imagine them blending together, becoming one smooth, glowing sphere of absolute calm. There is a profound comfort in knowing that this is the future. It is not an end, but a beautiful continuation. The universe is always renewing itself, always finding new ways to create balance and light. The faint blur we see today is just one frame in a much longer, infinitely peaceful story. You are a small but vital part of that story. You have witnessed the future of the cosmos in your mind, and you are held perfectly safe within it. As we prepare to leave the grand stage of galactic evolution and turn our gaze back to the quiet, intimate scale of our own existence, let the slow, swirling dance of Andromeda lull you deeper into the dark. There is nothing left to worry about. The stars have already figured it all out. As the grand, slow-motion vision of the merging galaxies gently fades into the quiet backdrop of your mind, we find ourselves floating once more in the present moment. You are suspended safely in the deep, velvet dark, hovering perfectly still in the refreshing, cool vacuum of space. The silver sail of our journey has brought us to a place of profound reflection. We have drifted across millions of light years, bathed in the glow of 1 trillion suns, and witnessed the patient, eternal dance of the cosmos. Now, it is time to bring that immense, sweeping scale softly back to you. When we place ourselves against the scale of Andromeda, our everyday measures beautifully and inevitably collapse. The numbers we have drifted through tonight are so overwhelmingly vast that human scale becomes almost invisible. But in this safe, quiet space, invisibility is not the same as irrelevance. To feel small is not to be unimportant. In fact, feeling small is one of the most liberating, deeply relaxing sensations the universe can offer. Think of our own Earth, quietly orbiting our golden sun at a distance of 150 million kilometers. Set that against the 2.5 million light-years to Andromeda, and our entire world shrinks into a speck smaller than a grain of dust. Allow this recognition to wash over you, not with any unsettlement, but with a profound, comforting relief. If the Earth is but a speck floating in a sunbeam, then the heavy burdens you carried today, the deadlines, the expectations, the loud noises of the day are smaller still. They lose all their weight. They simply evaporate in the endless, peaceful vacuum. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. We do not measure the value of a delicate flower by its size compared to a towering mountain, nor do we measure the value of a peaceful thought by its weight compared to a planet. Human existence has its own intimate, beautiful scale of meaning, one that is not diminished by the vastness of galaxies, but softly framed by it. You possess a quiet, remarkable magic. Our human scale is the scale of experience, of perception, of peaceful consciousness. Right now, as you lie completely still, you can close your eyes and comfortably hold a thought about 1 trillion stars. You can imagine a distance of millions of light years. You can build a sanctuary in your mind that captures the faint glow of Andromeda. The galaxy is immense, but your mind reaches effortlessly into that immensity, tracing its sweeping arms, finding rest in its glowing core. That act of gentle perception is a beautiful bridge across scales. It connects the microscopic to the majestic, and the connection goes much deeper than thought. It helps to remember, as you let your breathing sink into a slow, rhythmic lull, that the very atoms in your body come from the stars, the carbon that forms you, the oxygen you are breathing in this very second, the iron flowing quietly through your veins. They were all forged in the warm, bright stellar cores and ancient supernovas long before the Earth was born. You are literally made of the exact same material as the galaxies surrounding us. The vastness is not only out there in the cold, refreshing dark, it is within you. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are an expression of the same universe, existing on a different, cozier scale. Every time you look up at the night sky, you are simply the universe looking back at itself. Feel the atoms in your body right now. Feel how light they are, because they are made of ancient stardust. They do not need to be heavy. They can be translucent, buoyant, and free. Imagine your physical form becoming as light as the hydrogen gas in the quiet nurseries of Andromeda. You are a constellation of stardust, resting comfortably under a blanket of cosmic night. Consider the gentle flow of time in this space. Human lifetimes on our blue planet are measured in passing decades. Andromeda's light takes millions of years to simply brush against our eyes, and its ancient black hole has rested silently for more than 10 billion years. The timescales are beautifully different, but they are not alien to one another. Our brief, quiet lives fit perfectly within the longer, eternal span, like soft, individual notes in a grand, cosmic symphony that began long before us and will continue peacefully long after. To recognize this is to feel perfectly situated, safely tucked into your exact, rightful place in the universe. You do not need to control the galaxy. You do not need to guide the stars. You only need to rest, knowing that the universe is carrying you effortlessly on its eternal tide. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. As we hover here, halfway between the trillion stars of Andromeda and the quiet, steady rhythm of your own heart. Let all remaining earthly tensions slip away. You are small, yes, but you are not meaningless. You are brief, yes, but you are not without value. Your place is not at the center of the galaxy, but safely within it. As a peaceful observer, a quiet participant who can look out into the dark and find absolute calm, the galaxy will continue its slow, majestic rotation long after you close your eyes. Its stars will rise and fall. Its arms will softly shift, and its light will continue to pour across the void. But tonight, its light has reached you. Photons that left millions of years ago have ended their long, silent journey perfectly, resting in the quiet space of your mind. That is enough. You are part of its beautiful story simply by resting beside it. Let the perspective of your smallness wrap around you like a warm, protective cloak. There is a deep, abiding peace in surrendering to the vastness, in letting the immense scale of the cosmos shoulder the weight of the world for you. You are held. You are safe. You are made of stars. As we prepare for the final leg of our journey, bringing you back from the depths of space to the familiar warmth of your own bed, hold onto this precious perspective. As our journey through the cosmic ocean nears its gentle conclusion, it is time to slowly, softly turn our silver sail back toward home. We have drifted across the boundless dark, bathed in the pale light of a trillion ancient suns, and witnessed the magnificent, patient waltz of the heavens. Now, let the sweeping spiral arms of Andromeda begin to fade into the soft, velvet background of your mind. You do not need to hold tightly onto the image. it will remain there, a quiet guardian in the night sky, long after you have closed your eyes. The return journey is completely effortless. You are simply coasting on the gentle momentum of the universe, riding a rhythmic wave of starlight back across the 2.5 million light years we crossed tonight. With every light year that passes in the blink of a peaceful thought, you feel yourself drifting closer and closer to the familiar, comforting shores of our own Milky Way. The profound silence of the vacuum continues to cradle you, absorbing any last, lingering fragments of thought. Drift, float, glow, ancient stillness. We pass back through the quiet family of satellite galaxies. The soft, diffuse glows of M32 and M110 recede into the distance, continuing their endless, slow-motion orbits. They ask nothing of you, offering only their silent, peaceful light as a gentle farewell. The intergalactic medium, that vast and tranquil sea of emptiness between the galaxies, wraps around you like a cool, refreshing mist. You are moving perfectly, safely, carried by the eternal currents of gravity. As you glide into the outer halo of the Milky Way, you can feel the energy of the cosmos shifting into a soothing, domestic rhythm. This is our home galaxy, the spiral that holds our own sun, our own world. The familiar stars of our neighborhood begin to slowly rotate into view, welcoming you back after your long voyage. You are a traveler returning to a deeply safe harbor, your mind expanded by the immensity you have seen, your heart calmed by the absolute quiet you have felt. And then, the familiar blue crescent of Earth comes softly into view, suspended like a delicate, glowing jewel against the dark. As we approach our beautiful, fragile planet, you begin to feel a profound and wonderful change. The perfect weightlessness of deep space is slowly, gradually replaced by the gentle, familiar pull of planetary gravity. But tonight, this gravity is not a burden. It does not drag you down or make you feel tired. Instead, it feels like the warmest, heaviest, most comforting blanket being pulled softly over your shoulders. It is the loving embrace of the planet, welcoming you back from the stars, wrapping you securely in its safe, protective atmosphere. The cool, endless chill of space is gently replaced by the cozy, familiar warmth of your own environment. You are descending softly now, floating down through the quiet night air, drifting past the silent, silver-lined clouds, until you are hovering just above your own roof, your own room, your own bed. Feel your physical body sinking beautifully, heavily into the mattress beneath you. The bed rises to gently meet you, supporting every single ounce of your weight. Let the return of gravity completely relax your physical form. Feel the heavy, comforting pull in your toes, your feet, your ankles. Let them sink into the mattress, completely, entirely relaxed. The gentle weight moves up through your legs, your knees, your thighs, releasing any hidden tension into the soft surface beneath you. Your torso becomes heavy, sinking deeply into the center of the bed. Your arms, your hands, your fingers, they are perfectly still, held securely by the gravity of the earth. Finally, let your head rest completely onto your pillow. The weight of your thoughts, dissolving into nothingness. The immensity of Andromeda does not demand understanding. It only offers perspective. Falling asleep beneath such a cosmic glow is to carry that profound perspective inward. The things that troubled you today, the anxieties that felt so urgent, shrink effortlessly in comparison to the billion-year dance of galaxies, their sharp edges softened by the gentle light of a trillion stars. You are part of a universe that stretches far, far beyond this single moment. Remember the ancient stardust that makes up your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. They were forged in the quiet cores of stars. And tonight, they are simply returning to a state of absolute rest. The photons that left that magnificent spiral millions of years ago have ended their long, silent journey perfectly. Resting comfortably in the quiet space of your mind, you have absorbed the calm of the cosmos. As you lie down and let your breathing slow to its final, resting rhythm, imagine that faint, pale glow one last time, resting just behind your closed eyelids. Imagine its grand arms stretching wide, its golden core radiating absolute peace, its silent black hole anchoring the spinning stars. Let it remind you that while you may be small, you are never truly alone. You are a fleeting but vital part of something enduring and beautiful. The universe is vast, and yet here you are, able to feel it, to find absolute calm within its immensity. The galaxy will continue long after you close your eyes, its stars rising and falling in the dark. But for now, your journey is complete. The silver sail is folded. The cosmic winds are completely still. As sleep comes to claim you, carry that celestial glow with you into the dark, the glow of a trillion stars, the glow of a majestic galaxy drifting slowly toward us. A gentle companion in the night that reminds you there is always more beyond, always a reason to find peace, always a quiet corner of the universe waiting to hold you. Thank you for sharing this quiet time beneath the stars. If you ever need to find this peace again, if you ever need to escape the noise of the world, know that you can always return to this safe harbor whenever you wish to let the universe keep you company. Let your breathing be the only rhythm left in the world. Inhale the quiet night. Exhale the last sigh of the day. May your night be incredibly peaceful. May your thoughts remain as light as stardust, and may sleep come easily, carrying you gently, softly, into the deepest, most beautiful dreams. Good night, Cosmic Traveler.